Hey, what's up guys? So in this video, we're gonna be taking a look at the Vantrue N4 3-channel dash cam. And to test this dash cam out, I just rented a Lamborghini. My brother was in town and we wanted to do something fun, and so we headed over to Zadart in Bellevue, Washington, where they have a lot of different exotic cars that you can rent. And the two of us had a chance to spend 3 hours driving a Gallardo.
Yeah, we're definitely not
And in this video, not only do I want to talk about the experience of driving a Lamborghini, but we're also going to be doing it while taking a look at this Vantrue N4 dash cam. So I've mentioned in previous videos that I like Vantrue dash cams in general for having both good video quality and for the suction cup mount that makes it really easy to get this mounted to the windshield and unmounted when you're done. Additionally, I also specifically wanted to try out this dash cam to get both the traditional front-facing dash cam as well as the interior-facing dash cam to capture our reactions driving the Lambo. Now, hopping onto the highway, you definitely notice that the car has quite a bit of power and you can get up to speed without actually realizing how fast you're going. Like, the car definitely feels like it's built to handle speed. Now, that said, driving it around initially, it didn't feel crazy or wild or anything. It actually felt more subdued than I was expecting. It felt like a powerful commuter car. It wasn't until we hopped onto some of the back roads and switched the car into sport mode that the car really came to life. That's when we started to really feel the power of the car, the acceleration, the gear shifts, the sound, like everything stepped up.
There it is. That's far better. Okay, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, that's more like...
It was actually pretty cool. I didn't realize that that car has kind of this dual personality to where you can have like a fairly surprisingly comfortable commuter car and also have like a wild Lamborghini at the same time.
Oh yeah. Sport mode is good, though. I like that. I like that a lot.
We also tried switching the car over into Corsa mode, meant for track usage, but it didn't work while we were driving. Maybe it needed to be stopped or something. I'm sure one of you guys will let me know down in the comments. But either way, it was definitely a fun car to drive. It was really fun experiencing how fast this Gallardo 550-2 can get up to speed. And as far as the dash cam that I brought along to record everything, let's go ahead and take a closer look at it now. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is a 3-channel dash cam, meaning you've got 3 separate camera angles. You've got the main front-facing dash cam, you've got a second rear-facing dash cam that goes on your rear window, and then on the back side of the main camera, you have a third interior-facing dash cam that lets you record the inside of your car. And the front dash cam is designed to record in 2K or 1440p, while the other 2 channels are going to be recording at full HD 1080p. And all 3 channels are going to record simultaneously at 30 FPS. You'll also notice that around the interior-facing dash cam, you've got these 4 infrared LEDs, and those are designed to light up the cabin at night and give you nighttime recording. You can't actually see them with the naked eye, but it's going to allow you to record when things are dark. Now, on the back side of the dash cam, you've got this 2.5-inch LCD screen, which is really nice when you're getting the dash cam mounted and angled in your car to make sure that everything is straight. The interior-facing dash cam also rotates and twists independently like this. And it's really nice having this because there's no Wi-Fi built into the dash cam, so everything as far as maybe changing settings of the dash cam or playing back recorded footage, it's all going to be done here through the menu inside the dash cam itself. So if you want to go in and adjust settings, set the date and time, adjust how many dash cams are recording, or adjust the resolution options, all the configuration is going to be done right here on the LCD screen. Now, something I noticed while testing is that the LCD screen, it's not actually compatible with polarized sunglasses. They've designed it in a way that when you're wearing the glasses normally, you're not actually going to be able to see the screen. And so if you want to use the screen, make sure you take off any polarized sunglasses when you're using it. Now, Vantrue dash cams use these suction cup style mounts, which definitely have their pros and cons. On the pros side, it's definitely convenient to just go ahead and stick it into the windshield like this, lock it into place, and there you go. Additionally, you have the ability to slightly rotate the dash cam like this. Not all the way around, but enough to where if you want to have the dash cam rotate to record, say, a side window for a police encounter, you do have that capability here. The main downside, though, is that I find that having a big mount like this does introduce some additional vibration into the dash cam footage while you're driving, just due to the extra leverage here. And if you contrast this to maybe other style dash cams that have more of this wedge-shaped design and this double stick tape mount, this is going to attach more closely to the windshield and it's not going to have the same types of vibrations. And I definitely noticed these vibrations in the video footage when driving around with the Lamborghini. Now, to be fair, this is an exotic sports car with a stiff suspension, but nevertheless, I've also noticed differences even in my Audi Q5, which has a much softer suspension than the Gallardo does. And if I compare it to video footage from another wedge-shaped dash cam, I definitely do notice more vibrations in the Vantrue dash cam, which I do think does diminish the video quality somewhat, though of course you are still able to record everything going on regardless. And speaking of the mount, the power connector for the dash cam plugs into the mount as well. Right up here at the top, there is a USB Type-C power port. Now, the standard mount that the dash cam comes with does not include GPS. You see, the dash cam itself does not have GPS built in either, and so if you want GPS functionality, you're actually going to want to pick up the optional GPS mount available from Vantrue. This way you can get your speed or latitude and longitude embedded into the video footage. Now, as far as mounting the dash cam, I just had it mounted in the center of the windshield, and I found this to work really well as far as giving me a good view of everything going on the road ahead, as well as recording the interior of the car without the rearview mirror actually blocking the interior footage. I did notice, though, that sometimes the sun would cause some flare even in the interior-facing dash cam, so for a more permanent install, I might try maybe mounting it up higher by the headliner and hopefully having the headliner actually block the sun somewhat. But of course, for your car, your mileage may vary. And speaking of the sun, inside the dash cam, you've got a capacitor built in instead of a lithium-ion battery, which is going to be preferred if you're driving around in hotter temperatures. And then on top of the dash cam, you've got a couple different buttons here. The main one that you're going to use while driving is this button here on the left. This is your emergency recording clip, or a button rather. And so if something important or interesting happens on the road, you can press this button here to save and protect that video clip. Now, something to be aware of is in case you're using the screensaver feature like this, you're going to have to actually press the button twice. The first button press is going to wake up the dash cam, and the second button press is going to go ahead and lock that specific video file. That's something that I didn't realize originally, and every time I was using this feature to save when something fun or interesting happened, unfortunately the dash cam actually didn't lock and protect any of the video clips, so I had to manually go back and find each clip to use for this video. If you have that screensaver feature disabled or the screen is still on, a single press of that button is going to go ahead and lock the video. So just something, again, to be aware of if you're using the LCD off function. Now, on the side of the dash cam, you've got a couple different ports. You've got your port to plug in the rear-facing dash cam. You've got an HDMI out port if you want to maybe plug the dash cam into a TV and play your video footage that way. You've got a reset button in case something goes wrong with the dash cam, and you have your micro SD card slot where you insert the memory card to save all the video footage while you're driving. The dash cam does not come with one, so you're going to want to purchase a memory card when you purchase the dash cam. It supports up to a 256 gig card, and down in the video description, I'll link to a recommended card underneath the link to where you can go and purchase the dash cam itself. I'm also going to link to some of the other helpful accessories, things like that optional GPS mount if you want it, the hardwire cable for parking recording, etc. But next, let's go ahead and take a closer look now at the video quality itself from the N4. So starting off with the front dash cam, it's going to be recording in 2K or 1440p at 30 FPS. And video quality I find to be pretty good. It can definitely record license plates and faces up ahead of you. As far as the bitrate of the recorded footage, and this is going to be especially important while you're moving, while you're driving, and there's a lot of things changing around you in the video footage, the N4's front camera records at 16 megabit. And if you contrast this to something like, say, a VFO T130, which is one of the competitors, that dash cam's front camera is going to be recording at 25 to 28 megabit. So it's going to be saving much more information for each individual frame. The N4's lower bitrate is going to save on memory card space with smaller file sizes, but it does come at the ultimate expense of video quality while moving. Regardless, though, I do think that the video quality is actually pretty decent. Now, I would also like to see the option of a polarizer available on the front camera to help cut through the reflections that you'll see sometimes on the windshield, especially when driving around in the sun. But unfortunately, there is no polarizer available here for the N4. Now, if you take a look at Vantrue's marketing information, you'll see that they actually market it as a 4K dash cam. However, this is not a 4K dash cam. The front sensor is a 5 megapixel Sony Starvis IMX335. That's an image sensor that's commonly used on many different 2K dash cams. Regardless though, Vantrue does market it as a 4K capable dash cam, and you'll see some options available in the settings for it to record at 4K. Especially when you start dropping the resolution of some of the other channels, or if you drop it down to just 2-channel recording or single-channel recording. And if you do that, it'll sometimes record at quote-unquote 4K at 25 FPS or maybe even 30 FPS if you drop it down to just the front channel only option. Now, taking a look at the video quality when it's at quote-unquote 4K, the video quality is pretty good, but it's still not actually capturing at 4K. I've done a whole other video talking about kind of these fake 4K dashcam options. I'm seeing a lot of different manufacturers do it. It's really common to use kind of a 2K sensor and then just artificially stretch the video file and say it's a 4K. video, but you're still capturing at lower resolution and not actually adding any additional detail that you would get when you're using a sensor that's actually capable of capturing at 4K. So no, this is not a 4K dash cam, but its 2K video quality is still actually pretty good nonetheless. Next, if we take a look at the video quality coming out of the interior facing dash cam, this one is going to record at 1080p or full HD. And I find that the video quality is nice. It does a good job of recording the interior of the car, especially with its nice wide 165-degree viewing angle. I also really like the fact that in the daytime, you've got accurate colors. Unlike some other dash cams that have maybe kind of like this magenta hue to the image. Now, on the other hand, at night, or in any other dark areas such as parking garages or tunnels, the dash cam is going to be recording in black and white, not in color. Now, something to note here with the interior-facing dash cam on the N4, there's actually an IR blocking filter that's installed in front of the sensor and behind this lens here. In order for the infrared LEDs right here to work and for the dash cam to be able to capture video at night that's kind of being lit up by these LEDs, it needs to be able to see the infrared light. You can't see it with the eye, but the dash cam is going to be able to record it. And in the daytime, that infrared filter is going to be in front of the sensor, which is why you're going to be getting those accurate colors that I mentioned, unlike other dash cams that don't have this infrared filter. And so you're going to be getting that infrared light actually hitting the sensor and giving you that kind of reddish, magenta-ish cast to the images. The trade-off, though, is that when they do put that infrared filter in front of the sensor at night, you can actually hear when the dash cam puts it in front of the sensor for daytime recording or removes it for nighttime recording. And in fact, I could even hear it while driving the Lamborghini, and you could hear it even over the engine noise, too.
A little bit. Just a little bit, yeah. And it like wants to go.
Now, that said, it's not a huge deal. It's not super distracting in practice or anything, and it's kind of nice actually knowing when the dash cam is switching between color and black and white mode, but this is different compared to other dash cams that are going to be totally silent while driving and don't have that clicking sound when going in and out of dark areas. Next, taking a look at the rear dash cam, this is also going to be recording at 1080p, just like that interior facing dash cam. And again, the video quality is going to be pretty decent here. It's going to be doing a good job of recording what's going on back behind you. It's able to capture license plates of cars that are coming up behind you. And ultimately, yeah, it's going to be able to capture everything going on back there. Then moving on to parking recording, it was pretty nice that in the Lamborghini that I was testing in, the cigarette lighter power outlet actually stayed on while I was parked. So when I went to go fill up and get some gas, for example, the dash cam kept recording and I was able to capture people's reactions as they were actually checking out the Lamborghini. Now that said, that was with the dash cam still recording normally. When I went home and did some proper parking mode testing, I did actually run into some of the limitations that I found with different Vantrue dash cams, and the same applies here. And this issue I ran into when testing the dash cam in my favorite parking mode option for impact detection and motion detection. You see, many other dash cams offer buffered parking recording, meaning the dash cam is able to record continuously, and in case of an impact or something, it can actually record before the impact as well as afterwards. The Vantrue, unfortunately, is kind of in a sleep state while you're parked, and then only after that impact is detected, that's when the dash cam is going to wake up and begin recording. So it's actually going to wind up missing that initial impact entirely. Other dash cams are able to record before and after the impact, versus the Vantrue is only going to record after the impact. The workaround for this is just to have the dash cam set up to record in the low bitrate option, and so it's going to be recording continuously while you're parked, albeit at a reduced bitrate or reduced video quality, but at least it's going to be able to capture everything going on while your car is parked. Now, if you want the parking recording functionality, you're going to want to pick up Vantrue's optional hardwire cable. And this actually has a switch included so that you can set the voltage cutoff level so that if your car battery drops below a certain level, it's going to go ahead and shut off the dash cam so it doesn't drain your car battery too far and prevent you from being able to start up your car next time. The voltage management stuff is not built into the dash cam here. It's going to be built into the power cable. Additionally, something to note, the Vantrue hardwire cable uses a 2-wire cable, not a 3-wire cable. There's no ignition triggered capability, and so instead it's going to be switching into parking mode based on things like the G sensor, not actually based on the car ignition turning on or off. And then finally, the last thing to mention real quick, as far as the countermeasures that I was running here in the Lamborghini, I was running the Valentine 1 Gen 2 with JBV1. JBV1, awesome app. I love it. This was super helpful. In fact, while I was driving, my brother had 2 phones running. One was JBV1 to give me information as far as everything going on around me in real time. And the other phone was actually running the GPS to keep track of kind of the maps and the navigation. I found that while I was driving, I had to be super focused on everything going on up ahead. I mean, you have to be when you're driving something like that. You're not playing around with anything, even GPS or music or any of that kind of stuff. And I was actually kind of nervous too. There was times where I had to like kind of stop and dry off my hands because my palms were starting to get sweaty. And so it was really nice having the co-pilot there kind of monitoring the phones and the navigation and everything. As far as the radar detector, the V1 Gen 2 did fine, though I did unfortunately run into some more situations where I had some KA falsing.
Yeah.
Not the most fun thing to experience, though luckily JBV1 did tell me that those false alerts were around 33.9-ish, so I was like, okay, cool, those are falses, not legitimate, but nonetheless, the more I've been driving around with the V1 Gen 2 lately, the more annoyed I've been getting with it, and actually wishing I'd picked a different detector. But nevertheless, it still worked well overall for letting me know everything else that was going on around me. Coming back to the Dashcam, though, if I were to kind of summarize my thoughts here with this Vantrue N4, I liked it overall, having this 3-channel dash cam that I could quickly and easily install in the car and then take down after I was done. I like the video quality. I like that it records in 1440p up front and then 1080p for the interior and rear-facing dash cam. I like the nice big LCD on the back of the dash cam that made it easy to adjust settings or double-check the angles of the different cameras. I do wish that we had the option to raise the bitrate of the dash cam to get even higher quality video. Though that said, the video quality is still pretty good here with this dash cam. The fake 4K dash cam stuff that they advertise on their website, I'm not a big fan of it. But again, the video quality is still fine for what it is. I really like the fact that with this interior-facing dash cam, I get accurate colors, none of the magenta cast stuff. That does come at the expense of that clicking sound that you hear when switching between daytime and nighttime mode, but ultimately that's not actually that big of a deal in practice. I like that it offers parking mode capabilities. I do wish that it had buffered impact detection and motion detection to record before the event happens, not just afterwards, but you can kind of work around this with the low bitrate option. But overall, it's a solid dash cam. Good video quality. I like the button feel. Feels pretty solid. I do wish the mount was a little bit more solid too. So for maybe a permanent install, I would go with something with a smaller mount that attaches closer to the windshield and doesn't introduce that same level of vibration. But for something like this to just quickly toss in the car, it was convenient, good video quality, and did a nice job. And so I think overall, it's a good dash cam. Pros and cons like anything else. But yeah, there you go. There's the Vantrue N4. If you'd like to pick one up yourself, I'll have a link down in the video description for you. And I'm also going to include links to a recommended memory card since one isn't included. And I'm also going to include links to some of the optional accessories like the hardwire cable to get the parking mode recording. And so yeah, that's it as far as my thoughts here on the Vantrue N4. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you're all doing great, and I'll see you in the next video.